Hello guys, my name is Zenzile and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to another video, yet another topic about Zion Christian Church that I'm going to address. It's time for me to defend my church. Yo, it's time for me to defend my church. Anyway, if you don't know, that's the church I go to, and I've seen so many things that are misunderstood by people about the Zion Christian Church in Zimbabwe, the one that is led by Nehemiah Mtendi and was founded by Samuel Mtendi. So, if you're interested in this topic, make sure that you are tuned in and make sure that you watch till the end and make sure to subscribe as well. So guys, before we get right in today's video, let's watch the intro video. Okay, so there are so many things that are misunderstood by people that they see with their own eyes and they will be asking themselves, what? Where is this even written in the Bible? Huh? These people are being used. I don't know how I can explain this. People misunderstand Zion Christian Church based on what they see, and I don't blame them. I mean, every church has its own things that are criticized by people. Roman Catholic people criticize it, Pentecostal churches people criticize it, especially Vioja. Um, every church has its own criticisms. So I probably understand the people that misunderstand the things that are done by the congregants or Zion Christian Church. Anyway, number one, it's about Tanganda and coffee. The most common thing. The most common thing. So for those who don't know, we have what we call Tanganda. It's tea leaves, and coffee. It's also tea leaves. So people, they misunderstand that. Why would you need tea leaves for healing? They say, why would you need tea leaves for healing? You can always pray, you can always go to a pastor, you can always go to a bishop or whatever to pray for you. You can always pray for yourself and ask God for healing. I mean, they are right. They are right. You are right, guys. You are not even wrong, and that's actually true. But to prove my point that it's correct, or to prove that what we do in Zen Christian Church about tea leaves is true, I'm going to read a verse for you so that you can understand. Okay, because every misconception that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to back it up with a verse, because we don't just do things for the sake of it, but we are covered by a Bible. So about tea leaves, it's in Revelations 22 verse 2 to 3. So let's open Revelations 22, guys. If you have a Bible, open Revelations 22 and let us read together. Okay, so Revelations 22 verse Revelations 22 verse 3. Verse 2. Down the middle of its main street, on both sides of the river, were trees of life, producing crops of fruit, yielding their fruit each month. And the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations. Wherefore the what? The leaves were for the healing of the nations. And there will no longer be any curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb will be in the city, and his slaves will offer him sacred service. The main point that I wanted you guys to know is that it's mentioned that the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations. Mm. So my phone is complaining space. So the trees, the leaves of the trees were for the healing of the nations, which means Tanganda is the one that we use for healing. Coffee is the one that we also use for healing. I don't have to explain more on that. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's okay. I know some people are already asking themselves that how do we know that it's Tanganda that is healing people? Guys, if you look back like how our ancestors survived, ask any elderly granny or any elderly whatever person that you know kuti vaishandisei in terms of kuzvirapa, in terms of my herbs. They will tell you, even sangomas, even traditional healers, they will tell you that Tanganda heals a lot. It heals like the leaves, they are for healing. So that's how we know that Tanganda is for healing. And you know, our church is um, based on prophecies and spiritual journey. So that's how we ought to know that Tanganda and coffee brings healing to our bodies. And we are not saying that we are not saying that we rely on Tanganda and coffee to be healed. No, it's your faith, and also we pray. We pray directly to God. So another thing that I'm going to address is Ndaza, which is called holy string in English. So many people, they always say, why do you need a holy string to be protected? What's the use of a holy string? For those who don't understand Zion, they always saying we put some ritual stuff on our waist or whatever. But that's not true. That's not the case. In Zion, we put holy strings on our wrists, and it should be covered by clothes. It must not be seen by anyone. So if you want to know what color it is, you don't have to know about that. You will know. If you come to our church, you will definitely see it, what color it is. But don't worry. Mapostori munowaziva vanongetowo zvavo izvozvo nesuwo tinongetowo kuti the same thing. So I'm going to back that point with what? With a verse, which is Acts 19, verse 11 to 12. Let's open Acts 19. Let's open Acts 19, guys. Acts Acts 19, verse 11 to 12. And God kept performing extraordinary powerful works through the hands of Paul, so that even clothes and aprons that had touched his body were carried to the sick, and the diseases left them, and the wicked spirits came out. The verse speaks for itself. Even Moses as well. Moses also had some strings that he would put on his body, maybe on his waist. I'm not really sure, but I think on his waist. And also he had canyons. And also I want to address another thing that is misunderstood by people about what is that in Zen Christian Church is chimbo, that is a holy road. Moses andaifamba netsvimbo yake aifamba netsvimbo yake chinongeta mapostori. Moses walked with his holy road. So that's how we adopted it to our church also, that elders of the church, even our bishop, must have the holy road. That holy road is used to perform miracles like healing. The same way that Moses performed miracles, he parted a sea in half using a holy rod. So that's the same thing with us. Our elders, the bishop of our church, also used the holy rod to perform miracles from God in terms of healing and other things. Then another thing that is misunderstood by people about our church, Zion Christian Church, is sprinkling water, kukhushwa mvura. So in our church, before we start the church service, we get sprinkled water, front and back, front and back. So we are going to open a verse on that because people they'll be asking, why would they sprinkle your face, your whole body with water? Imvura dzezvituna, imvura dzechichichi. Anyway, it's okay, but I'm going to prove that point with a verse. So let's open Ezekiel 36, verse 12, verse 25. Ezekiel, yeah, Ezekiel 36, verse 25. Verse 25. I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will become clean. I will cleanse you from all your uncleanness and from all your disgusting idols. So that's the purpose of sprinkling water, to unclean you from your uncleanness. Yes. And also, yeah, it's just for cleaning you. Not in terms of maybe sins or what, but maybe if you did something wrong, something that is disgusting in front of God, we can't, like the church or the church elders can't attend to you if you are unclean. They have to sprinkle that clean water to clean you. Get it? You get it? At least it's there in the Bible, guys. I know I may not be able to explain fully to you for you to understand, but my point here, the purpose of this video is for me to break those misconceptions with the Bible. Okay. So that's the purpose of sprinkling water. So if you are not a Zionist and you would like to attend our church service, that's the first thing that you are going to come across with. They are going to sprinkle with water. Because at times, kune vanenge vakasviba, like that's another thing that I'm going to address. Kushiba, as in kubva periods, and also people like coming from giving birth, and vanenge vaenda unhamu, going to a funeral, eating pork. There are so many things that are not allowed in the church. If you do that, you have to be sprinkled with water so that that uncleanness can go away, and so that you can be attended to. Now, the other thing that I'm going to address about Zion Christian Church that has been misunderstood by people is kushiba. But kushiba kwacho, it's not only church kwedu, even other churches, even mapostori chaiwo, they consider kushiba as unclean. So kushiba handisi kureva kushiba kweganda, ndikureva kushiba chaiko kwemukadzi anoenda kunguva, kwekuenda kunhamu waita body filling, bata maoko kushiba futi ikoko, then nekuzvara kushiba, then nekuita sei, kudya puku kutori kushiba. There's a lot that comes up with kushiba, guys. So kushiba, it's uncleanness. We're going to look for a verse. Kushiba is uncleanness. That is Leviticus 15, verse 19 to 25. Let's open Leviticus 15, verse 19 to 12 to 25. Verse 19 to 25. If a woman has a discharge of blood from her body, she will continue in her menstrual impurity for 7 days. Any touching her will be unclean until the evening. Um, Anything she lies down on in her menstrual impurity will be unclean, and everything she sits on will be unclean. Anyone touching her bed should wash his garments, bath in water, and be unclean until the evening. This verse goes and goes and goes and goes along the way. So it's usually talking about menstrual blood. Anyway, let me continue. Verse 21. Anyone touching a bed should wash his garment. Why am I saying wash? Should wash his garments, bath in water, and be unclean until the evening. If she sat on the bed or on another article he is touching, it will make him unclean until the evening. And if a man lies down with her and her menstrual impurity comes on him, he will then be unclean for 7 days. And any bed which he lies down will be unclean. When a woman's discharge of blood flows for many days, when it is not the regular time of her menstruation, or if she should have a flow longer than her usual menstruation, she will be unclean during all the days of her discharge, as in the days of her menstrual impurity. Any bed she lies on during the days of her discharge will become like the bed of her menstrual impurity, and any article she sits on will become unclean like the uncleanness of her menstrual impurity. This verse goes long and long and long. But the point is, in our church, in Zion Christian Church, I would like to believe that all other churches they do the same thing about unclean Shiba. As for us, if Taga Shiba, we don't sit at the front, we sit at the back of in church services. We don't get uh, prayed on with holy word that is chimba tinamatira nechimbo kana wakasviba because ukanamatwa nechimbo mudzidzisi wacho akunamatiro atosvibawo haachakwanisi kuti unamatiro vanhu vanenge vakadi vasina kusviba iye anenge atosvibawo. And then if the woman is married, the husband also is now considered as unclean for 7 days. So if you do a body viewing, you are unclean for 7 days. If you are unclean in terms of menstrual blood, you are unclean for 7 days. If your menstrual period is longer than 7 days, then that's the same. You are unclean for those days. And also, if you're unclean, you just don't participate in so many things in church. You don't participate in so many things. Finance, you don't participate in all that. You don't preach. You don't sing, like standing up leading the song. You don't do that. So many people criticize that. Hey, why would you do that? Hey, what about that? I mean, the Bible is also proving it. Guys, so you will be considered unclean. And also, even in kadzi abva kuzvara nemurume wake wekuti anenge akatosvibawo. Get it? I'm sorry, I'm mixing Shona and English because I'm trying to explain myself fully. English is a problem. Then another thing that I'm going to address that is being misunderstood by people about Zion Christian Church is Holy Road, that is Mapumango's. I'm going to read Exodus 4 verse 20 and 7 verse 20. Exodus 4 verse 20. Exodus 4. Then Moses took his wife and his sons and lifted them onto a donkey, and he started back to the land of Egypt. Moreover, Moses took the rod of the true God in his hand. Then we go to 7 verse 20. Immediately Moses and Aaron did just as Jehovah had commanded. He lifted up the rod and struck the water that was in the Nile River before the eyes of Pharaoh and his servants, and all the water that was in the river was turned into blood. This one I don't have to explain it. I've spoken about it. I've spoken about the Holy Rod, the purpose of it. At least Moses was using it as well. So why not us? Now we are going to talk about kugerwa. Kugerwa musoro for men. For men kugerwa. Haircut. We are going to open Leviticus 19 verse 27. Leviticus 19 verse 27. Leviticus 19 verse 27. 19 verse 27. You must not shave the hair on the side of your head or disfigure the edges of your beard. You must not make cuts in your flesh for a dead person, and you must not make tattoo markings on yourselves. I am Jehovah. So I'm going to address haircut and tattoos. Tattoos, it's addressed on verse 28. You must not make tattoo markings on yourselves. I am Jehovah. This is what God is saying. Tattoos, we are not allowed tattoos in our church, guys. Tattoos is not allowed. And you must not shave in the hair on the side of your head. On the side of your head, that is here.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
What?
Or disfigure the edges of your beard.
I've only got 3 rules. Well, actually, I don't have any rules.
Huh? I have a question mark about this, but it's also varume, they are supposed kugerwa musoro, havafani kuchengeta bvudzi. Vanofanira kugerwa musho chaiwo chaiwo musho, like zero zero hair. There must be no hair exposed when it comes to men. They must get their hair cut completely. No, not men's cut, whatever. Those cuts, no, it's just like, you see how plain my skin is. That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. But for girls, it's up to them to cut their hair or to keep their hair. No problem. And then ndebvu, varume havatenderwi kuchengeta kuti ndebvu. Isi tinogerwa ndebvu. I mean varume, they cut their beard completely. Sorry. So I was saying that varume vanogerwa chendebvu. And I'm going to address another thing. If you have anything that you think you want clarity on about the Christian church, just comment down below. I'm going to address that. I'm going to address that with my whole heart. No problem. Then we are going to talk about matekero, necklaces and clothing. That is First Timothy verse 2. First Timothy chapter 2 verse 19. Let's open First Timothy. Timothy, where are you? It says, Likewise, the women should adorn themselves in appropriate dress, with modesty and soundness of mind, not with styles of hair braiding and gold or pearls or very expensive clothing, but in the way that is proper for women professing devotion to God, namely through good works. Okay, so about clothing and necklaces. In our church, we're not allowed to wear necklaces, and people always misunderstood that. Zviri part in Bible ipapo zvinofanira kupfeka manecklace chichi. We are not allowed to wear necklaces. I don't even wear necklaces. I don't even wear earrings. Like my ears are not even what do you no are not even poked. Is it the right word? I mean, haana kuborwa. Ndakatongokurawo ndakadaro. Saka handitopfeki ne-earring. I don't wear necklaces. That's how I am naturally. Then in terms of dressing, we were taught to wear modestly, just like when we enter a message party. This is what I just get to go and go no enter message because as for me, I wear whatever I want. Even if I want to wear trousers, even if I want to wear clothes that are not covering my whole body, even if I want to wear something else that is not allowed to church, it's up to me and God. But in our church, it's not allowed. But a person has a decision to make, and God is the one who judges. So it will be up to you if you want to face the consequences. But we are not supposed to do that. So, guys, this video has become too long. We have so many rules in our church, so many rules, so many things that people misunderstand about the church. Also, people misunderstand that our church is of political interference, something like that, or or political perception. But we are not political, a church of political view. But because of that, our bishop gets to interact with the president of Zimbabwe. People think that and stuff, but that's not the case. I believe that bishop vanongasvitonamatira country inoyi, there is no way yekuti bishop ungabva wavingana napresident. Zvinozobudawo here nevanhu vaMwari? Zvinozobudawo here kuti bishop wavingane nepresident? Zvinozobudawo because vakavingana navo munotaura, vakawirirana navo munotaura. Saka munodei vanatema imi vanonzibaba munonyatsodei chaizvo? You don't know what you want. You don't know what you are even saying. So just learn to mind your own business and let it be. God is the one who's watching, and God knows what is happening behind the scenes, behind the closed doors. God is the one who knows. So we don't have to interfere with the things that we have no idea of, with the things that we don't even know what is happening. So we just have to learn to mind our own business. Okay. So this is the end of this video. It's already 25 minutes. Anyway, I'm going to cut some parts. So, guys, is there anything that you like? If there is anything that you feel like you want clarity on, or you want me to address on, comment down below in the comment section. Comment down. I will never hesitate to answer, and don't ever hesitate to comment down in the comment section. So, guys, I'll see you in the next vlog. Bye.